Perfect. Let's start all to this presentation. We are in COP29 in Baku, and today we are going to officially launch the position paper of Climate Social Forum. So before going, I will make a brief introduction about what Climate Social Forum is, also for the one that are not aware about that. And also today we have some guests with us that we can say they're going to talk about their activity, and also they will be also invited in the next edition of Climate Social Forum. So let me share my screen on the presentation. Okay. So what is Climate Social Forum? Climate Social Forum was born as a free, inclusive, universal assembly. Our goal is to create a virtual agora that unites activists, citizens, and experts to propose action and stimulate nation and governments and local administration to build an ecological and sustainable future. We aspire to the Manifesto Climatico Latinoamericano. There's been an initiative that is born in COP25 properly to have a participatory approach in creating also the documents that they're going to foster the negotiation. This was like launched and also proposed at the Cumbre del Planeta in COP25 in Madrid. And actually, we really like this participatory approach to engage and involve also grassroots initiative and grassroots activism. So, what is the virtual agora? The virtual agora is consisting on a series of events, web conference, virtual meeting, to encourage to exchange ideas and proposals. And we want to create a space for dialogue between different realities that can generate and share proposals to be developed at local, national, and global level. We inspire to some principles. These are the basic principles by which the Climate Social Forum is based. Listen, generativity, and solutions. These are the three keywords that are, in a way, following and describing the seven principles that we apply in Climate Social Forum. Listen because we have to listen each other. Every voice is important. Generativity because the discussion need to bring to something that is not just talking, not just a discussion, but something that can be tangible, that can have an impact. And of course, solution. Surely we will talk about problems, the climate and social crisis, but the problem is not the last word. We have to find solution together. And we think that these are common problem, common solution that we need to find. And our motto that is we are on the same boat. And only if we remain together, we could prevent the storm from happening. This is a sentence that has been done by Pope Francis first, properly to let understand humanity, how we are interconnected. We did several initiatives. We did a youth engagement policy in youth engagement discussion on how the youths are engaging policy regarding climate change. And we are based on the Talanoa dialogue. The Talanoa dialogue is a traditional word, is also a methodology that here in COP we know very well, is a constructive dialogue that wants to be also a peer confrontation between different experience. The Talanoa dialogue is based on three questions: where we are, where do we want to go, and how do we get there. Where we are is to assess the state of art, and transparency is the key. We have to talk each other transparently. We have to talk each other with the sentiment of trust. Where do we want to go? Basically define our goal, our vision, our like future that we want. And how do we get there? We cannot go there if we do not have a strategy. And so we have to define the methods, the methodology, and the strategy. So this was an example of the Climate Social Forum initiative, the one in 2020 that has been like the launch of the Climate Social Forum. We divided our discussion into tracks. That time we used to have 12 tracks that take inspiration from the SDGs. And each track was properly organized in the three levels: assessment and discussion of the state of art, discussion about problem and solution, and then a practical example to like demonstrate that is possible and how to do that. So here a brief video that let me see if I can show. Thank you. So this was the glance of the first edition of the Climate Social Forum. More than 72 speakers alternate on the virtual stage of the forum, and more than 132 participants has discussed actively on the different tracks that we organize on the virtual Agora. So, how is working the Climate Social Forum? Usually is an active Agora. We do not just make webinar and also virtual conference, but we want to engage the participant. At the beginning of each track, we share a document and which we collect feedbacks. And during the talk, anybody can work and write on the document. At the end, we collect all these documents. We try to, we can say, synthesize into like the one that we called the proceedings or the output of the Climate Social Forum. The output are both the collection of the talks, but also the collection of the suggestion, the feedbacks, and so on inside the Talanoa framework that we had from the participant. You can scan here to like have a video on how the Climate Social Forum is working. And on our website, they are also available the proceedings of the different years. Here, yes, the example of the document. For the first edition, we tried to define the three level of governance. So we produce three documents coming from the discussion, one from the local level, one from the national level, and one from the global level, because we were thinking that, of course, suggestions need to be addressed also by different level of governance and so on. So we participate also constantly to the Open Dialogue on Climate Change, an initiative that is run by the Open Dialogue Climate Change Foundation. And different in different year, we propose different topics and sessions properly to maintain active and vibrant the dialogue between the different stakeholders Here we addressed also the topic of peace and security, how climate and social effects are like generated by the conflicts, and how we can find a possible solution, and so on and so forth. We participate also in COP27 with a side event on the importance of mangrove and beach ecosystem. Yesterday was the day of biodiversity, and together with our partner Africa Esperance and other, we organized this side event in COP27. We also have been official focal point for the regional dialogues for the Stockholm Plus 50 process. We here face like a session on healthy, prosperous, and peaceful planet for humanity, on the vision of the 6 P's of sustainability, and so on and so forth. So we are trying to organize our knowledge also in order to create an impact. Here is like another way in which we collected our output to find a new main human strategy, how we think that the level of development in humanity need to be taking in consideration the feedbacks of our participants. And if you want to join the community, we are active in different spaces, on Facebook for sure. We also have a capacity building platform. This is the capacity building hub of Climate Social Forum, where we perform also training and we can say long-term courses. We did a course of edu webinars with a school in India, but also we are now planning. Also, I'm glad that there are some guests here that will talk more about. We are planning to have on initiative of a colleague from Kenya, capacity building for international negotiation on climate. And you can collaborate as a volunteer, as a group organization, joining the network. You can propose yourself as a speaker. And if you want to help our effort and so on and so forth, you can also be a sponsor of that. Again, these are the channels you can find also in YouTube. I really suggest to go on YouTube, because on YouTube there are all the session that we held since now, and even the extra session. We are on Instagram. We have also Slack space and so on and so forth. So that was a little bit about the Climate Social Forum, but today we are to present the position paper. But it's interesting to warm up before the position paper. Get to bottom. And your activity is amazing, and I think that there is a lot to learn from you, and we hope really to have you in the next session of Climate Social Forum. But together with the, we can say, local and grassroots community, we want to reach also the high levels. Okay. And here we are, as you can see from the background, at the United Nations Climate Convention on Climate Framework Convention on Climate Change at COP29 here in Azerbaijan. So there are high level, we can say, discussion and we say fragments. So it's important to engage also youth in negotiation. And on this, I want to give the floor to Augustine. Augustine, please come here so we can also see from remote. So Augustine is running an amazing initiative in Latin America, also connected to the metaverse. We, as Climate Change Forum, for the one that are following, we are very interested into this innovation in the virtual space because it's born as a virtual, so lot of thinking in common. So Augustine, the floor is to you. Um, I am um, um, and we need to start using the technology that we have. So great, Augustine. We are glad to host you and to have with us for the next edition because one of the mission also of the Climate Social Forum is to create synergies among likewise initiative. Now, it's the moment in which we really want to commit and to make our part in this COP29. Now, I will share your screen on my screen on the position paper that we produce with the different colleagues and different organizations that are part of the Climate Social Forum, and we will discuss together the main point because today in COP here is like the moment in which they are taking the decision for our planet, and it's important to raise our voice and tell our position from our community. So first of all, the position paper is made by an introduction that is setting the scene about the situation that we had arriving at COP29. And we are based our statement in some basic point. First of all, we think that humanity need to come together for a collective effort for a good collaboration. Collaboration is a key that we are promoting with the Climate Social Forum, and is also the vulnus of our action. Our any activity of Climate Social Forum has been born by the collaboration of different entities all across the world, across the borders. We are from different parts of the world, different regions. Climate finance. This COP is the COP of climate finance. And we ask the leaders to agree on a climate finance goal that is fair, that is just, and is like can cover the enormous challenge regarding adaptation, mitigation, and loss and damage. So inside the climate finance, we also to include the effects that are happening on war. And we are wanting that these can be counted also into the effort that the leaders are going to decide in these days. Equity and climate justice. There is no transition, no climate transition, no climate transformation without the respect of the rights of the most vulnerable, of the indigenous communities, of the workers, of the women, of the children, and of the youth. So it's important to address equity and climate justice in every decision that is made in COP29. Then support for clean energy transition and adaptation measures. Last COP was the COP that has set the timeline for making a net zero transition. Is important to foster investment on this field. Is important to support the installation of solar energy, wind energy, renewable energies in all the part of the world, and especially in the part that cannot afford economically the investment. We need to support them. And also, climate change is a reality. And anytime that we are talking about climate change, we are talking about present. And so it's important to foster adaptation measures. Loss and damage compensation. Climate change is already hit, especially the most vulnerable communities. And so it's important to address a fund, a fair fund that can compensate the damages that are come from the effect of climate change. To do that, we need to have a technological collaboration for sustainable urban environment. Cities are the forefront of climate action, in the good and the bad. The cities are one of the environment that is most consumptive and polluting, but can be also the center of transformation, the center of sustainable regeneration. Food security and agriculture. A lot of us are working on the sector of agriculture and food security, and we need to grant access to finance and to resources to that. Is important because without food there is no any other discussion, and the ones that are getting food are the farmers, the young farmers, and also the small order farmers. Inclusivity and climate action. We have to leave no one behind. That's the goal. That's the mission, and there is no escape on that. There is no climate transition without an inclusion. If we leave someone apart, we are not making a good transition. We have to be inclusive in our action of climate transformation. Climate justice and peace. I already told that, and I want to repeat. Today, there are bad news also outside this venue of war winds, and war is not compatible with climate action and with climate justice. We want peace, peace, and peace. I want to say few times peace because without peace, we cannot think a better world. We cannot think a sustainable world. We cannot think to have a just transition. So these are the conclusion and the points that we want to loudly say into this COP29. And this action and this elaboration, this position paper has been done thanks to the effort of different drafters that I want to thank each one, especially Dr. Sudhir Joshi, our ambassador for India, Adamu Andam, that is our co-coordinator of the Climate Social Forum, and all the other drafter and all the other participants from the different NGOs that are part of the Climate Social Forum. So we can say together, and I also ask that we can say together with the speaker that alone we have problem, together we have solution. Alone we have problem, together we have solution. That's the motto of Climate Social Forum that we want to reinforce with this position paper. Thank you very much and have a nice COP, and let's hope for a better world. Thank you very much. Thank you.